Welcome to the Evolvepreneur AI Advantage Show. And I'm your host, Richard Ray. My mission is to help entrepreneurs understand AI and use it to their advantage. Join me today where we dig deep with our guest and get you the best concepts and strategies. Today's special guest is Oli Nold. Driven by an unwavering passion for artificial intelligence, Ollie stands at the forefront of technological innovation. His entrepreneurial spirit and dedication to leveraging AI have the potential to redefine business strategies for the modern age. Ollie's leadership has been instrumental in the achievements of North revolutions. Today, we're talking about AI Unleashed, revolutionizing business strategies. Ollie, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Richard. It's a pleasure to be here.
Really great to have you here. And Ollie, this is going to be probably, I think, a first with what you're about to tell me on this show. But where in the world are you?
I'm actually in Germany at the moment.
Oh, fantastic. You're the
Yeah,
first guest for the show that's from Germany. So this is great news.
that's cool. I don't live in Germany. We're just visiting family and friends in
Mhm.
Germany. We usually live in Indonesia, in Bali.
Oh, okay. Okay. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I actually know Indonesia very well. I used to live in Singapore and work there quite a bit myself. So, yes, I know that part of the world.
cool.
Very cool place to be indeed. So, Ollie, tell us about yourself. Give us a little background because you know originally from Germany. You've got family there, and you traveled around the world. What's your background and what's brought you to AI?
Yeah, that's a long story actually. I've been in the digital marketing space for many years.
Hmm.
I work remote, completely remote, for the last 10 years.
Hmm.
So I'm actually originally from Switzerland, not
Oh,
even
okay.
from Germany. But my wife Lisa, she's from Germany.
And
That's
so,
why we're in Germany at the moment.
okay.
And so I left Switzerland like 10 years ago.
Mhm.
Started my remote journey. Been kind of like an entrepreneur all my life,
Mhm.
um, but switched everything to the online world when I
Mhm.
when I left home. And as I love marketing on every possible level, I had several agencies, clients around the world. Like the whole big thing,
Yeah, yeah.
and mainly always focusing on automation. Okay,
Mhm.
so because in combination from living abroad and working remote, automation was always like the biggest topic for us
Okay.
because I don't want to hype up that digital nomad lifestyle
Mhm.
because it's completely overrated. But this was always like years ago, it was always about passive income,
Mhm.
like working from the beach, like this 3 hour thing and
Yeah, the
making a
dream
shitload of.
isn't actually the reality by any stretch of the
It's
imagination for
not at
most people.
all. It's not at all, but it definitely helps to, yeah, put your focus on automation,
Mhm.
and to automate processes for ourselves and for our clients, which then obviously brought me to AI a while ago.
Of course.
Um, but I say we flipped our whole agency model about a year ago.
Right.
Like when the big thing was when ChatGPT was released for public. That's kind of like when we were like, okay, we have to jump on that train and make it our whole concept and model for the agency. Even if we implemented AI before, as we all know, AI is here since quite a long
Mhm.
time. People were just not aware, but we tried to kind of like catch up the hype when ChatGPT created that hype and flipped our whole agency model about a year ago. And since then, pretty much not doing anything else than implementing AI tools, strategies, softwares for ourselves and our clients.
So literally, the arrival of ChatGPT was enough for you to go, "Oh my goodness, this is massive. This is completely changing the game. If we don't adapt, we could be in trouble."
If we don't adapt, we're not going to have an agency in a year.
Simple
Yeah,
as that. Simple as
yeah.
that.
I saw that as the biggest turnaround in terms of we definitely there is no way not to look at it.
Mhm.
Like there is no way to be like, oh no, this is dangerous. This is not good. This is it's gonna take away this and this and this. It was
Mhm.
like we need to learn and understand because if we don't do it, our competitors will, and we're out of the game pretty fast.
That's really scary, isn't it?
It is. I think fear is one of the best motivators you can have.
Mm.
scary is probably the wrong word, but it created a good drive. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm. And this is
Yeah.
the thing, everybody was at the same level at that point. This new thing comes along and you did the smart thing of embracing it and running with it. Have you
Right.
seen others that haven't embraced it and they're kind of faltering and you're just zooming off into the distance by comparison?
I mean, like, I know a lot of people who are afraid of it
Mhm,
or avoiding it.
mhm,
And to be honest, when ChatGPT came up or was accessible for everyone
mhm.
about a year ago, um, let's say like the main people, like who had a lot of fear, like the copywriters and
Yeah.
content creators and stuff like that, the ones who are avoiding it are not out of the game today, like, because I feel like everything we see on ChatGPT and all the other AI tools, it's still like very early stage.
Mhm,
And you can create tremendous amounts of good results, but you still need the professional people in the background, like
yes.
still need someone who gives in the prompts. You still need someone who has the knowledge, like,
Mhm,
and I think it's kind of like a mixture at the moment. So I don't feel like people are left behind, but who's left behind at the moment are the people who don't understand what's going on and are not professionals, are and not willing to implement it. So
mhm.
like small businesses and small entrepreneurs who are literally like against it. It's not the professionals, but it's the people who should now implement it because they don't know what's going on and they're like, I don't want to have it.
So that one sector who could probably benefit from it just massively because of the power it gives them, this is the area you've seen that's actually shunned it more than anything else, yeah?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because I believe these days, or that's where we're heading,
Mhm.
you can start building a seven-figure company with two, three people, like if
Yeah,
you implement these tools the right way. And that's what will companies put out of the game if
yeah.
you're not doing it, because they will save so much money and they will optimize their processes tremendously. And it's probably not going to happen, when a year ago, when the whole thing became so big and this massive boom
Mhm,
came up, I feel like there was this massive FOMO, and everyone was like, oh, we need to jump on it right now. And this kind of like flattened out a little bit. And
mhm.
now we have a clearer perspective on it, which is cool because it kind of like gives us the opportunity to go in this bird view and really realizing there is a lot of potential, but very important also, there is a lot of tools out there who are completely useless,
Mhm.
like you can really get lost into that jungle of new softwares and tools and spend a lot of time doing useless things with it.
Yeah, and this is one of the things I've run into myself. The classic one is you see somebody saying 20,000 prompts for Chat GPT, and it's like it's never going to be helpful. And usually the prompts are awful. So, and all those tools
Yeah,
out there that are frankly awful as well. So,
absolutely.
tell me about the way you are using AI to help your customers. Tell us about some of the process and the type of customers you've got.
So where I see like a massive potential today
Mhm,
is, first of all, when it comes to social media marketing, is the content creation
mhm,
on many different levels, because we can create content on autopilot and mass content
mhm,
on pretty much every channel. Same goes for emails and having ideas and having inspiration. And I see the AI tools, or let's say like mainly also ChatGPT, as a syncing partner.
mhm,
Like he's not the one who is going to do the whole job for you, but he's like your syncing partner. And as entrepreneurs, we need to, especially like as a small business or small to medium sized business, we need to advertise more than anyone else because we
mhm,
need to stand out in the crowd. So with the rise of social media over the last few years, there is no way not to be on social media. it doesn't
mhm,
it doesn't matter if you're a tech company or if you're the local bakery down the road. You need to be on social media in one way or the other, and you need to create a lot of content to stand out. So what I've seen over the last years is that people are struggling to create this content mainly because they're running out of ideas. They don't
Mhm.
know what to come up with. And it's a lot of pressure because you don't just please your potential clients and all your leads out there. You mainly please an algorithm, and you need to
Mm.
beat that algorithm out there. So beating that algorithm is what leads to the fact that a lot of people are starting with a lot of motivation for the first few weeks, even
Mhm.
for the first few months. And then you realize we don't break through that algorithm. And then they're like, that's not what it is. Leave it. And then they stop. So with AI and ChatGPT and all these other tools, we have the opportunity to have a thinking partner who we can either get inspired through the tool itself
Mhm.
or steal. So it's a bad word, stealing, but it's kind of like stealing content from others,
Mhm.
flip that content into our own topic, remodeling it and release it for ourselves, um, on so many different levels. And that makes life so much easier. So I think like on that level, an absolute game changer and
Mhm.
gives the opportunity to stand out. Plus, we can set things on automation
Mhm.
for sure. Like that, but that's nothing new. We know about
That was there
automation
before. I
tools.
know
That
that's
that
one of
that
the main things that people say, "Oh, we can automate with AI," which is great. But it's not really the cool, interesting part for a lot of people. It's something that has been around, as you say, for a long time.
I think we can automate more
Mhm.
consciously.
Yeah.
Like with more purpose. It's not. We can automate more in depth.
Mhm.
Be, by having content released at the right time to the right customer.
Mhm.
Because another massive thing, which is now accessible for pretty much everyone, is the whole analyzation of data
Mhm.
and analyzing the customer journey and creating systems which usually only can be created by companies who are having a $1 million marketing budget. We can now dive deeper and analyze what our customers are doing and how to use that data to our advantage and implement that in our funnels to make it way more specific.
Very interesting. So, outside of ChatGPT, what are the core tools that you're using?
Besides
Yes,
ChatGPT,
in addition to ChatGPT.
so what are other cool tools with it? It's really depending. It really depends on what's the purpose. Okay,
Mhm.
so I mean, like one of the biggest ones of for sure is Midjourney,
Mhm.
in terms when it comes to content,
Yeah.
because we're kind of like using ChatGPT as the base
Yeah.
and training ChatGPT on our business models for us and our clients, and then kind of like taking that and adding other tools to it. And as example with Midjourney is really cool because let's say we feed the whole website into ChatGPT and be like, look, that's the content. Let's start
Mhm.
talking. Let's start learning. So we get maybe like some social media posts out of it. We get some email flows out of it. Whatever it
Mhm.
is, we feed him some data from the ad campaigns and so on. So he becomes a professional on that specific data, and then telling him now we need a visualization of it, so we need some content visualized in terms of pictures. Start write me the prompts for Midjourney.
Okay.
And that's how we kind of like start adding tools. So that's a big one. Simple stuff like like response came up with some really cool AI solutions. Canva is doing it at the moment.
Mhm.
uh, I'm a big fan of the big players. What Adobe is doing is mind blowing at the moment.
Oh,
Like
some of their generative AI is astonishing. It's
it's
absolutely
it's
amazing.
it's crazy. Like and yeah, besides that, there are a lot of other tools. We created a tool database for
Mhm.
our clients and our course members, and we have about, I'd say it's about a bit more than 300 tools in there,
Mhm.
which we all tested them ourselves, and they are, depending on the use case,
Gotcha.
um, they are very very useful. But it's like everything, like you can have a it's like working as a construction worker. You can have the best toolbox out there. If you don't know what to do with the tool, it's absolutely useless. So it's all about the combination and putting the tool in the right place and seeing the benefits once you learn how to use it.
That's a great statement there. So, what is the most common mistake you see people making with AI? Because the great news is some people are going out and just trying it. Great, fantastic news, and that's what I advise everybody. It's not going to hurt you. Okay, all is good. But what sort of mistakes are you seeing? Individuals or companies make around AI outside of not using it?
Yeah, thanks. I wanted to say not using it. You took that away from me.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
I was so ready for that. No, what's the big mistake is n- probably not understanding that we are in a very early stage,
Mhm,
and people seem not to have a good taste of. People are all about the destination and not
mhm,
about the journey. Like they're like, oh, now we have AI, now we don't need to do anything anymore
mhm.
ourselves. It's going to create everything for us, and we put everything on automation, and it's going to work like flawless, and like the whole thing, like,
Life will
oh,
be easy. We're on that
yeah,
beach again.
exactly. And I say we're in that stage where we have to do even more work now,
Mhm.
because we need to this is a complete new technology, accessible for everyone. Now it's the phase of learning and understanding this technology. So people are like, oh, we let's say we have a 5 people team, now we only need one person. I'm like, no, no, keep the 5 people and
Yes.
hire one, add one more as a AI manager or so,
Mhm,
and then start the processes, understand the processes. Because what I've seen, like I've seen that said many years, like in terms of automation or digital marketing and stuff like that, people try to outsource processes they don't understand. And if you outsource a process you don't understand, it will not go well, because you cannot observe it, and because you don't know if it goes right or wrong.
mhm.
So to outsource a process, you need to understand the process. And usually people are not willing to learn the process. And as we're facing a complete new technology, now it's all about learning.
So you've said some really interesting things there. And I just want to drill into a few of them. You're the first person I've heard say when you start using AI, you actually end up doing more work. Now, I agree with you because it means that you can focus on some very interesting things, but there is a learning curve. Um, how do we get past people's feelings of, well, this is a magic wand that can do everything that we want? How do we get them to actually take that step and really invest the time and effort?
That's a very good question. I wish I had the answer. It's the biggest
Mhm,
issue I see on every possible level regarding my own company.
mhm,
Um, I'll give you an example, because we created that online course, and I start to understand that, and I think it's a great course, and it teaches you exactly how to implement AI in your digital marketing.
mhm.
And when we created it and released it, I expected that people are going crazy for it. So what we're facing at the moment is like everyone wants to know about it, no one wants to buy it, um, because no one wants to learn it. Like people are really like, they're everyone is like, because we're living in a society where everything needs to be ready made,
Mhm. And
and
free.
it's free and prepared and
Yep.
no effort, like, and and that makes it so extremely hard at the moment. So I try to go on a level of education where
Mhm,
we see people having results very fast,
mhm.
and very simple, like super simple, easy results, and then building on them. It's almost like teaching a baby how to walk. And if you teach a baby how to walk, you're not teaching him how to run 100-meter sprint. Like, that's not going to work well. So we're starting like with baby steps, small, and
Quite
getting
literally
results.
baby steps. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and once people understand, oh, oh, that's a simple thing. Like, even if you get like, let's go on ChatGPT, put you receive an email. It can be
Mhm,
like a basic email. I had that with, I, I saw my dad the other day, and I installed ChatGPT for him the first time because he's 70
Yeah.
years old. He's like, I don't need that. I'm like, yeah, yeah, but you should probably
Try it.
understand
What's the
how it
worst that can
works.
happen? Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Like you're not gonna die tomorrow. You're just 70. So it's gonna be involved in some way in your life. So he received an email
Mhm.
from a hotel, and there was an issue with the hotel, and they wanted to offer him a voucher. So it was a little case. And I said, look, take that email, copy paste it in ChatGPT, and tell ChatGPT what you would like to have from the hotel, and let ChatGPT give you an answer. And he did that, and he was like, "Oh, that's a good suggestion. I like that."
Ah, that's very cool.
And then he starts to have a process in his mind where he's like, "Oh, could I probably use that for a use case business related?"
Mhm.
It's what we do with we've been doing this since many years. That's why we create a lot of free content through
Mhm.
Facebook communities and stuff like that. You want to educate people on a certain amount of level, so they start to create new problems because of that, and they're like, oh, now I know this, how can I do this? Instead of giving them like the magic sauce and like, oh, you do this,
Mhm.
and they're like completely overwhelmed, like, I don't need that. So it's a step-by-step process. Yeah.
I think the creativity of putting free content out, but also as a starter, is absolutely the smart thing to do. I mean, we look at what happened with the leaked version of Llama from Meta, and the community was coming up with ideas that Meta had never thought of. So Llama 2 comes along, they make it available to everybody, they make it open source. So they clearly learned, and that creative community that comes with this is fantastic.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you mentioned your courses, and so tell us about give us one example about the sort of course that you offer, because you've got this amazing suite of information out there that I've taken a look at myself, and it's very cool.
So yeah, what's the course about is a basic for starting implementing ChatGPT and all these other tools. As I said,
Mhm.
we were kind of like running around with 300 tools at the
Yeah.
moment, to implement that for solopreneurs, small businesses, and implementing that in their marketing
Hmm.
strategy, first of all. But I am all about, when it comes to entrepreneurship, I always try to see the big picture with the focus, one and only focus: make cash.
Hmm.
Because if you don't make cash in a business,
It's a
it's not going to
hobby.
work. Then it's not a business,
No,
and there's like,
won't be
it's like
business for long.
it won't be for long. So everything we do in business
Mhm.
is with the main focus on making cash. So in that case, we're focusing in the course of making more leads,
Mhm.
creating, turning these leads into customers, and making that easier. And that goes through the whole range of starting how to create more content, making that content useful, analyze the data, using these tools in the right business structures,
Mhm.
and implementing it to optimize and automate processes, and then coming up with new sales strategies and creating new business models out of it to make your business mainly more outstanding against your
Mhm.
competitors. I feel like if you run a business, you're always in a competition. There are two ways how you can beat out your competitors. You either try to destroy your competitor, or you are getting better than your competitor. And I'm always for the way, get better. Don't even care about your competitor in terms of taking them down. Just make sure you're better, louder, faster, and you will beat them.
So be the put your energy into being the best that you can be, and good
Exactly.
things will happen. And using the AI tools, especially the sort of course that you have, will help people. So I mean, one question I've got there though is, yeah, I kind of alluded to it at the beginning of the conversation. You see these uh, you know, messages that say 20,000 chat GPT prompts, etc. And there's so much out there. Do you feel it's devaluing the kind of the overall concept behind AI at the moment? Because with so much, basically rubbish out there, you get a
Mhm.
great course like yours, and it's difficult to hear it, for want of a better description.
But isn't it that an issue like we have all the time? For me, it feels like it almost feels like the crypto rush 2016,
Oh, it's definitely
like
a
when,
gold rush. Yeah, very, very
yeah,
similar.
it is, like, and everyone wants a piece of the cake, like,
Hmm.
and you have a lot of smart people out there, and they
Hmm.
obviously realize like what's the easiest. Everyone realized today, understands that AI is about the input, like, so the input, it means the prompt, like if you're not putting a proper prompt into AI or ChatGPT or whatever the tool is, like you're not getting a proper output. So I understand that the easiest way is like coming up with the guide 20,000 prompts for $2. And competition is always good for the market, and it does kind of like bring down the topic to a base level where people are like, this is rubbish, this doesn't work, and it makes our life way harder.
Yeah, very much
but
so.
but nothing we can avoid, like, it's exactly what I said before, like I don't spend my time getting mad about all the crap out there. I focusing on getting my product better. And I know that over the next few months, and I say over the next few months, not even over the next few years, because it goes so fast at the moment, the crap will disappear. Like we had it with crypto, like
Hmm.
all the coins, like, and you made quick short money,
Hmm. Hmm.
and kind of like took a piece of the cake and then disappears. And the big ones stayed, and they're still here, like, and it's gonna be exactly the same. So it's just whatever it is and wherever it goes, I don't care, as long as it's moving and as long as it gets discussed and as long people are getting interested. Sometimes it's also good if people are having a bad opinion about it. At least that gives an opportunity to talk,
At least they've got an opinion, and you can have that
Exactly,
conversation. Yeah.
exactly,
What's the old
exactly,
line? There's one thing worse than being talked about, not being talked about.
exactly,
That's
exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Ollie, there's been some great advice during today, but if there was one piece of advice that you'd want the listeners to take away from today, what would it be?
Um, get over your fear,
Hmm.
and at the same time get over your excitement. Just be very rational. Use AI, implement AI, and AI is massive. AI is here since a long time. Start
Hmm.
realizing that it was here long before we talked about ChatGPT,
Hmm.
and you are leaving this digital footprints. So make sure to use it wisely and try to implement it wherever you can, because it's going to happen anyway. It doesn't matter if you like it or not.
It's
No one
coming.
cares about that. It's going to happen. And if you don't like it, at least know your enemy. It's going to make your life much more easier.
That is really great advice, Ollie. Ollie, where can people find you, and have you got any exciting projects on the horizon that they should also know about?
So yeah, you find me all over social media. Um, Facebook community,
Mm.
we're running with about
Which I'm a
30,000
member
people.
of course. So that's how we ended up chatting in the first
That's
place. A
how we
great
met, right?
community, by the way, really good one.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, but you find me on every possible social media channel:
Hmm.
Facebook, Oli Nold; Instagram, Oli Nold; LinkedIn, Oli Nold; Twitter or X, Oli Nold; on Threads. You just get Google for Oli Nold, and you're gonna find me all over the place. The company calls Nord Resolutions, and there's a website and everything in place. So just feel free to reach out. We're active on every possible channel and happy to answer questions. And to answer your second questions, what's coming next or what are the exciting projects? Honestly, Richard, it is crazy the amount of interest we're having at the moment. So what maybe my one of my most favorite ones, and I think it's a great thing to see, is actually after this interview, I'm having a call, and it's how do you say that in English? It's the biggest hotel
Hmm.
chain in Europe. So they have like the biggest and most luxury hotels in Germany, Switzerland, and Austria. So
Hmm.
the German speaking ones, they are asking to giving us ChatGPT workshops for the employees.
Oh, that's very nice.
And I think that and they came to us, and I think that's exactly what we need. They
Hmm.
do
Hmm.
understand there is something happen. We need to train our employees on it, and I think that's the best development we can see, and that's for me one of the most exciting parts happening.
Well, once you're the right side of that, I'd really love to have you back on the show for a follow-up conversation to learn how that's gone and the sort of benefits that's
Love
actually
to,
brought
for
forward.
sure, for sure, love to.
Hey, hey, Ollie. Look, it's been really great having you on the show today. You're doing some great work. As I say, I'm already a member on your Facebook site. Really like it. So, look, thank you for today, and good luck in the future.
Thank you very much, Richard, for having me. It was a pleasure.
Well, that's a wrap on another awesome guest episode for the Evolvepreneur AI Advantage Show. Just before you go, if you like this episode, we'd be very grateful for a 5-star review. Please also consider recommending the show to a friend or two. Make sure you subscribe for future episodes at aiadvantage.show right now. Until next time, I'm Richard Wray, and if you're an entrepreneur, get the AI advantage today.